Hey y'all, good morning. Welcome to Chat and Tales with Jen. Uh, dislike, subscribe, stick around and watch the video and leave me a comment. My content is random, guys. Today I want to talk about food. Now, the prices here on food are dropping in North Dakota. I actually got canned vegetables, 2 cans for 86 cents. I haven't seen it that low in a long, long time, years. And that was at a mainstream grocery store. It wasn't a discount store. It wasn't Walmart. Walmarts were actually, I think, almost, well, maybe they were 75 cents a can or something. I personally do not use canned vegetables on the whole because of the sodium content. And yeah, it's just my personal preference. I don't like mushy vegetables. Um, I'd rather have fresh or frozen. So, I don't know if you've noticed, but I used to like those vegetables you steamed in your bags, right? Well, if you've not noticed, the amount of vegetables in the bags have lessened. Well, so I went over and checked the fresh produce, and if you like cabbage, cabbage is very reasonable. Um, the cauliflower was reasonable in one store, but the other stores it was crazy high. So strawberries went up. I was getting 2 for $5, and at that mainstream store they wanted 2 for $7. I think 2 for $8. I don't know. So you watch what you buy. Now, I've been poverty level probably all my life. And there is little tricks I've learned for protein, for instance. At Walmart, I'm trying to remember where it's at, but it's in the meat section. Maybe it's over by the bacon. Anyway, it's on a shelf. It's a little blue package, probably the size of this. I don't want to show you this brand name because I'm not advertising. See this according the size of my hand. It's about that size, and it's got 4, 5, or 6 sticks of imitation crab meat. A good source of protein, and it's only $1. So what I've done with that is I've stopped there and bought it as a lunch with some crackers. Um, yeah, you can make all kinds of things with it. You can make crab salad or, yeah, use your imagination. Um, Pasta, rice, beans, all those things. I personally can't eat pasta like I want to because of the fact that a couple of hours after I eat spaghetti or anything, I get very hungry again and want to eat, and then I would overeat and add a bunch of calories that I didn't need. So, pasta is used by me very sparingly. Anytime if you go to a food pantry, they'll usually give you canned goods, pasta, rice, things like that. Um, Those are good things to stretch. If you're really trying to stretch your dollar, here's a mistake that I used to make until one day I had an aha moment and realized that I was buying the same thing twice. So I was actually spending double the money than I needed to. And it's so simple and it's so easy. Um, if you're already doing it, good for you. It took me a long time to learn it. If you go and you buy cheese, then you go and you buy macaroni and cheese and pasta. For instance, I saw somebody pick up a package of bow tie pasta and then they went and bought macaroni and cheese. Buy what you want to. But being on a budget, I would buy, how do I explain this? Serving sizes. What's it going to cost me per serving? Now, there's only two of us, so it's probably, it's most likely going to be a big difference if you've got a family of more. But if you're a senior, if you're a single person, if you're a single parent, maybe, yeah, this might work for you. If you're able to, make things like bread and pasta and things like that, a 5 pound bag of flour for what, $3, $4, whatever they cost, can replace the price of your loaf of bread, your biscuits, and that's another thing I see. People will go buy loaves of bread and then they also buy like Grand's biscuits, which are what, $3, $4 a can now. And it's really not economical to shop that way. So if you strip down bare bones, you will buy your food raw, where you have to actually cook it, you have to actually do the work. Um, this way, I think it's better too because you know exactly what's going into your food. On that note, also, it can help you become more aware of how much food are you actually taking in. If you take and just throw a bunch of pizza rolls into the oven, maybe you don't count the portion size. Your portion size may only be 6 of them, and you throw 10 or 20 on there, and you're watching TV or playing on your games or whatever, and before you know it, you've eaten 20. So that's not good either. Buying baby carrots. Um, if you look at the price of that bag and you go look at whole raw carrots that haven't been done up, there's about $1 in the price difference. So save some money, peel your own carrots. That's one simple way. And an example of how um, you can make your grocery, you can knock dollars off of your grocery bill. So I'm a different case. But I want to put this out there because if you're elderly, if you have parents, older parents that are struggling to keep food on the table, I have what's called I'm on Medicare, and I have what's called an add-on. It's Medicare Advantage add-on to my Medicare. That program actually pays for my food. And it doesn't go by your income. You don't have to, it's not like applying for food stamps. It is just one of the services they offer. The plan costs me, I think, $46 a month. That's a heck of a cheap grocery bill, right? Now, whatever you need with it, for instance, if I order a cheeseburger meal, it comes with the bun, it comes with the cheese. The only thing I have to provide is the condiments if I want them. Um, if I want onion, lettuce, and tomato, I would have to provide that. Uh, they always send me powdered milk, so I don't have to buy milk. Um, they send me two sizes. They send me uh, their little pouches. One is a cup size, and one is a 4 cup size. So depending on how much milk I want, I can make it up. They don't recommend, and this is one downfall to powdered milk, is they don't recommend, you can only keep it in the refrigerator for a few days, I think. So that's fine. I don't use it a lot. I do buy my regular milk, 2%, but that's the way I do it. However, if you're one of those people that just has no extra money at all, they do send your milk. They send your meals come with a dessert, whether they're in the tray with the main course, or they'll send applesauce or oranges or, whatever they can get to you. It's nutritious meals. They have different, I'll just show you my menu. I get Mom's meals. That's an example of what the food looks like. Of course, the trays, it doesn't come on plates like that. But then you would simply, let me see, you got American Classics, and those little symbols there on the bottom, they tell you, like, if your dietary needs, if there's, there's heart, it says heart friendly, lower sodium, diabetes friendly, extra protein, vegetarian, gluten free, renal friendly, customer favorite, and available for a limited time. So, like, they have sweet and sour chicken with stir fry vegetables and white rice. They go ahead and they give you the carbs right on the menu. They say that has got 67 uh, grams of carbohydrates, and it's it's easy to figure out. It's easy to order. There is an order number next to the entree that you want, and they will call you. You can call them, whichever you like. You can also order online. Um, I happen to get 30 meals a month. And so they send me 15 meals. They can go right into your freezer. Um, I usually freeze some and leave some in the refrigerator so I don't have to throw them out. You just vent the film and you throw it in the microwave or in the oven. Um, if you put it in the oven, you got to take the plastic off the top. But the tray it comes in is you can put it in the oven or the microwave. So that really could help some people out. Like I said, they send the bread with your meals. Um, they send the bun if you get a hamburger. They send taco shells if you want the taco meal. Um, they give you sliced bread, but I can't remember what I order that gets the sliced bread. But I get the whole wheat buns and the whole wheat bread, and they're really good. So that's an option. As far as butter, I I do buy that myself. I use unsalted real butter. I don't go for the hydrogenated or whatever they call that. A friend of mine from church back in Indiana. Um, she takes her regular real butter and she would blend it with canola oil. What I've learned after watching the RFK Make America Healthy Again is that seed oils are not good for us at all. So I'll be changing to olive oil. I used to get that, um, but I couldn't afford it anymore. So that might be something that I splurge on because my health is worth it. Now, what I use with these meals, they give you these meals, right? And you can order breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course, they won't go that far if you do it that way. Um, I usually just order one meal for every day because I don't eat a lot anyway. But I'll keep on hand a dozen eggs that I purchase. I purchase my milk, I'll purchase cereal, oatmeal. Um, I'll just keep that in the pantry. I When I do go to the grocery store, I keep saying I buy milk, but this is my grocery list. I'll get the milk, I'll get the eggs, I'll get the butter if I need it. I'll I do splurge on my coffee, but what else do I buy? Oh, I'll buy the tomato, lettuce, onions for my tacos and hamburgers. Mayonnaise. My husband eats a lot of mayonnaise, so I'll get him that. Um, you get the idea, I think. As far as the oil, no, I wouldn't deep fry in olive oil. No, I don't think so. But I do have the air fryer oven, and I'll use that. Now, as far as bread, I have the flour, but I discovered a better way for us. At Walmart, in the freezer section, they have frozen bread dough and bun dough, whatever you want. It's 6 loaves for about $6, so $1 a loaf. And Mike and I can just set it into our greased loaf pan, let it rise, bake it in the oven. There's a loaf of bread for $1. Um, he eats it more than I do. I really don't eat bread anymore, but there you go. Um, Potatoes. I don't buy potatoes unless they are very inexpensive and they must smell like dirt. Um, I will not buy potatoes that don't smell like dirt. That means that they've been sprayed, they've been sitting around a while, they're not fresh, things like that, all kinds of reasons. I worked in the produce of a grocery store one time and I learned a few things and I'll share them as I remember them. Um, Green peppers, way too high. They were at our Walmart, they were $1.09 a piece. That was outrageous, and they weren't that healthy looking to me. So I skip on those. I saw some people buying canned things, a lot of canned things as far as sauces and things like that. Alfredo sauce. You do not have to purchase that. It is very simple to make and a lot more economical to do it yourself. Um, Cream soups, things like that have all that sodium in them. That's something else that you can make yourself more economical, especially celery, cream of celery soup, cream of potato, um, anything like that. Also at the food pantry, now I do stop there once in a while because sometimes it'll just give me something if I want something different to eat than what I'm being served. I can use something out of there and make something up. Uh, so when I go there, well, I think every time I go, they'll give me a package of instant mashed potatoes. I don't mind eating those. I've eaten them a lot over the years, I think, since I was a kid, so they don't bother me. But if they bother you, they tend to taste a little different. Some people say there's a little aftertaste or whatever. Um, that's my problem with powdered milk is a little bit of an aftertaste to it. It's not a bad taste, don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not used to it. I don't care for it. But I will use it for cereal. I will use it in cooking. It's just not something I can just sit and drink, okay? Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Now, don't buy pumpkin spice anything. No, you want pumpkin pie spice coffee? I gotcha. The stuff you use for your pumpkin pie. Okay, that's all you need. I'm serious as a heart attack. That's all you need. You can. Now, I use a Keurig, okay? And word to the wise, if you just sprinkle pumpkin pie spice, it'll just clump. Like if you've ever sprinkled cinnamon on top of something hot, it'll just clump there. And you're trying to mix it and mix it, right? Okay, pumpkin pie spice. I should show you this too. I've done it without these, but I just happen to be using these now. I'm using these two-step macchiato. So this is the powder you put in first. I will take and mix these together in the bottom of my cup. Then I put I go ahead and put my pod in and I let it fly. There I have pumpkin pie spice macchiato. I can do it with my regular coffee. But instead of buying that creamer, that coffee creamer, that expensive coffee creamer that sometimes can be up over $6 a bottle, um, that pumpkin pie spice, this was $4 and it's still very full because it doesn't take a lot. And you can have pumpkin pie spice flavored latte, macchiatos, coffee, anything you want. You can just add that too. So anyway, I mix that with the powder in the bottom of my cup. I brew the coffee into it. Here's what color it is when it's done. And I do add a little bit of milk afterwards to help cool it down. If you have Keurig, you know how hot that sucker gets. Yeah, that pumpkin pie spice is so good. Another thing I use pumpkin pie spice on is vanilla ice cream. It's terrific. If you've never tried it, you should try it. Um, but think differently. And if you have pointers, share them with me by all means because we all help each other out and we all have minds and yeah. So, yeah, let's help each other eat better and do things, mental health. Um, I didn't finish my thought. I was rewatching my video from yesterday, and I mentioned, have you ever asked yourself, am I crazy? What I wanted to add to that, I think I've mentioned it before, but I just wanted to make sure. If you're the type of person that stops in their tracks and says, am I losing it? Am I crazy? Here's what a really good psychiatrist told me. If you have them thoughts, you're not crazy. Isn't that awesome? He said that is an awareness that we're supposed to have, that should be instilled in us, that we should be born with that. That's a sign that our brains are working normally. Um, can we have bad days? Absolutely. Does it mean we may not be all perfect? No. Does it mean we could still have a thinking problem, a mental problem? Yeah, we could still have that. But they're really, I hate the word crazy, but they're really mentally ill. They're really crazy, insane people. Have no idea there's anything wrong with them. They never stand there and say, oh, is there something wrong with me? Am I crazy? Um, no. I always knew that I was different, and there are so many layers to everybody. And finally peeling myself apart through therapy and learning about myself, getting to know myself, um, and all these different beautiful layers of a person that I am. I am glad that I'm finding this out. I hope you can too if you've never done it. It has helped my relationships. It has helped my self-esteem. It has changed the way I think, the way I feel. Um, and another thing I want to throw in there, people that are diagnosed mentally ill sometimes will say, I don't believe in taking pills. Be aware that's part of your mental illness. Um, it doesn't feel like it, um, but we can always feel it. We can always feel what's going on with our brain. Um, a lot of contributing factors to causing mental illness or contributing um, negativity is the outside influences and how we perceive them. Um, we're usually brought up with love in a loving home, and so that's all we know. And as we grow up, we just kind of assume we carry on like everything's that way. And then time after time, as we're beaten down again and again, um, when our hormones and our metabolisms are good, we handle things pretty well. We can roll with it. We stand up and brush ourselves off. But as we age, as I am, and things start slowing down, and the hormones are changing, went through menopause at an early age, all these things. We don't handle things the same way. And when those things come back that we usually just deflected away from us, that the memories that come back, you say, oh, I'm over that or whatever. We can't do that. We don't think as fast. We don't move as fast. And it can cause severe depression, anxiety, fears, irrational fears, which can be very confusing. It can really tie up your life. I know that, and probably mentioned this before. I have an irrational fear that pops up just out of the blue sometimes. Um, I can't touch my kitchen faucet, and it will only be the kitchen faucet. But in my mind, it's like it's going to shock me. If you've ever grabbed an electric fence by accident and gotten that shock, that's actually what my brain thinks is going to happen. It's going to tingle, it's going to shock me. And there's nothing I can do to change it, even on the medication. I don't know what it is. I do have an idea, but I'll go into that another time. Um, Also, same thing with the doorknob, going out of the apartment, going out of a house. It's usually just my own. It hasn't happened to me when I'm visiting somebody and leaving. But if I go, sometimes I want to go outside my apartment. I'm on my way, I'm dressed, and then I'll stop at the door and stare. And it's like I get this whoa feeling like I can't touch the doorknob. It's going to shock me. And so I'm still working through that. I will walk away from it. I'll go back to it. I will do something else for a while. And usually that works. I'll go get involved in sit here and play on my little game on my phone or something to just let that float away from me. And then I'll look at the door and, oh, I'm going to go swimming, or I'm going to go to the store, or whatever I'm doing. So I'm able to deal with the door. That was kind of frightening to me because I thought, what if there's a fire and I get stuck between the door and the fire? Like I can't go either way. Um, so I'm glad that the door is easier to deal with. Now, the sink, when it happens, I haven't figured out a way to get over that. But I can have that feeling about the kitchen sink. I can go right into the bathroom and turn that water on, and it never even bothers me. So strange. But it doesn't make me crazy. It's, there's something, this is what I'm told through therapy, is there's probably something from my past that was painful or shocking, as far as caught me by surprise and maybe caused some trauma, some pain, mentally, physically, whatever. And for some reason, my mind has associated that with the kitchen faucet. So eventually, I hope to figure that out. Like I said, I have a pretty good idea about what it is, but I don't want to go into that right now. I don't want to add any emotional stuff. I've been dealing with a lot of that the last couple of weeks, as you know. So, yeah, same with going back to save money. I did a video a while back on, I wanted to try an experiment with my vehicle, and the outcome for us, was positive. The speed limit on the highway here is 65. The minimum, in my opinion, I don't know if this is a rule or a law, but the minimum to me should be 55. So we were going through a lot of gas. And so, as an experiment, I started locking my cruise control at 55. And my vehicle has the gauge where it tells you how many miles per gallon, and it's an estimate, I'm aware, how many miles per gallon you're getting. We went from using 18 miles per gallon, going the speed limit, maximum speed limit, to dropping at 10 miles an hour, and now we're getting 24.9, and we've had it up as much as 28. miles per gallon. And what I've discovered is the difference between the 24, 25, and the 28 has been the weather. The barometric pressure, maybe? I don't know. But I've noticed on certain days, if the weather's really warm, the gas goes further. If it's raining, if it's cold, the gas doesn't go as far. So, yeah, we're probably taking it up in the wintertime. But no, I don't know. This is the first year we're doing it, so I don't know what it'll be in the wintertime yet. But right now, it's working out very well. So there's a tip for you. And if you're smoking cigarettes, you know, do something else. I quit smoking. I think it's going on 4 years now. Mike and I both quit cold turkey. However, as I showed you the package, we're vaping, and it's just nicotine or nicotine salt, I think it's called, and it's the ones I get are 5.0% nicotine. They're not flavored, but they taste like a regular light. Like if you smoke Marlboro Lights, that's about what they taste like. And a pod, this is what they look like. One of these. Oop. Depending on how much you puff on it, one of those will usually last me about 3 days. And I don't throw it away because down in the bottom of it is there's quite a bit left in there. So I found out how to take them apart, and I combine them and make a whole new pod, full pod out of it. So I don't advise vaping or smoking. This is not an approved message, but if you do, that's just one of the money saving things I've done. Totally save money. I need to just quit it. But that's my little vice. I think that's about all I want to say for that. But as far as the flour, going back to that, that's the other thing I wanted to say. Don't buy flour and pancake mix and biscuit mix. Or another thing you can do is you could buy Bisquick. Bisquick is another thing that you can you can do many things with it. My mother used to always have that in the pantry growing up, and we didn't have a lot of food. There was 5 of us, but that was one thing she would always have on hand, and always had our vegetables. We did a garden and that. Now, where I live now in an apartment, I've told you this before, I can't do a garden here, but I want to try to find some way to either grow something I can take in and out of the apartment, or put it out during the day, bring it in at night. I don't know. I'll update you if I find out. So it's getting long. I'm long winded. And my husband says, "You're full of hot air. Shut it." But no matter what, everything's going to work out for our good, guys. Hey, please reach out to me, chat with me. Um, I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody but Mike. And there's nothing wrong with that. I absolutely love it. But it's nice to get others' input and feedback once in a while. Have a happy day. Bye-bye.